Bondex live stream, Follow the Green Rabbit. Today we have a very special guest, Mónica Talán, founder of Crypto Conexión, or how would you pronounce it? Crypto Connection?
Crypto Conexión, because we say it in Spanish.
Exactly. It's a Latin American educational platform to educate the Hispanic or Latino or Spanish speaking population about Web3. So, really, it's a door into the world of decentralized economy. Crypto Connection is an educational platform specialized in Web3 decentralized economy to start your learning path. So, this is, a way to start your journey. It's not for experts, it's to help everyone, but they have also developer tools for more advanced learners. It's a space that has really prominent collaborators, tools to deepen your knowledge, interviews with some of the most influential players in the space, and coverage of events and reports on the ecosystem. And they offer tutorials to understand the technologies and the concepts from high level to micro, blockchain, crypto assets, NFTs, Web3, metaverse exchanges, everything. So that's the short intro into Crypto Connection. Monica, and Monica, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started the company?
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. I'm so excited about the work you guys are doing. And I love that there's that interconnection, right, between education and then finding roles. So I started it 2 years ago because I found that there was a ton of information in English. Maybe it wasn't all centralized per se, but you could find a lot of information in English, and there was not that much information in Spanish. And if there wasn't that access to information that helped you kind of if you were coming into the space, right? It was very hard to understand. I always say we speak English, Spanish, and crypto. And so we were translating both English and crypto so people really understood it.
I completely agree with you. I think it can be very overwhelming to go down the rabbit hole, as people say. That's the expression of when you
Yeah.
learn crypto, because I think for me, Web3 is like all the different technologies that are making up this new iteration of the internet. And one thing things might think crypto is everything, but no, there's so many different
Correct.
components.
Yeah.
And going down the rabbit hole can be really overwhelming because there's good and bad actors in the space.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a bit scary. Then there's an overabundance of data. So finding trusted sources of education is very, very hard. And if we need them to make that conversion of people to come into the space easier. Also, because speculation has been the main driver of adoption of Web3 thus far, and we need to change that, right? It needs to
Right.
be more about the technology and the benefits that the technology can bring to people, and the only key to achieve that is education. And tell us a little bit more about the company itself. I know it's a Web2 platform that opens the door to Web3. So tell us a little bit more about your offerings and how you work, how the company is built.
Sure. So the way that we've organized the website is in three different areas. The first pillar is education, as you said. We have a lot of written tutorials, and we went with written tutorials because we know there's a lot of communities out there doing either in-person sessions, workshops. There's a lot of video content, so we wanted to provide that written kind of way to accompany the different communities. In fact, we just participated in the Gitcoin beta program, and there were 50 education projects from Latin America or in Spanish. And we saw a lot of them were either, again, doing in person or video. So we're now collaborating with them. The second part that we do is amplify the work of Latino builders. We see a ton of very exciting projects in the region that are not getting the visibility that they should. So we want to amplify the work. And the third part is we really want to close the gender gap. We want to be sure that women are helping build Web3.
I love that, and also true. I was at Consensus, and I met Monica in person, and there was a Latino founding and Latino builder meetup, and it was quite small compared to the overall conference. And I completely agree with you. I think there's lots of people building things in Web3 in Latin America that deserve. I'm Latino myself, and we need to help the founders and flourish in that ecosystem, which it's actually underpenetrated.
Right.
Latin America is very underbanked, and the
Mhm.
FX of its countries is very volatile, and some governments, are not that stable. So crypto is actually the perfect use case for these countries to have like this safety net, right? And even though that's the case, you have other regions of the country with similar characteristics, obviously not the same, but Southeast Asia is super, super crypto savvy and crypto native. MENA, Middle East and Africa. Why is Latin America so far behind? Why do you think crypto is not as discovered as mainstream.
Yeah. And I think it depends on the country. What you're seeing as countries like Argentina, Venezuela are adopting it because of the volatility with their currency, right? Brazil has a new law going into effect, and you're seeing a ton of activity. We always say Brazil is Brazil, so we put that separate, and it's, it's Portuguese. But what we find is because there has been so many bad players, we've seen pyramid schemes, we've seen a lot of false information, what bleeds leads in media. So a lot of people who didn't know what FTX was, because FTX actually didn't have a brand in Latin America, are afraid to jump in because they think it's fraud or they think cryptocurrencies are illegal. So a lot of it is changing and addressing those myths. But what's exciting is we are seeing traction. So in Mexico alone last year, we saw that there were $3 billion in transactions between the US and Mexico. A lot of it was remittances using crypto, which means that it was about 6% of the remittance market were cryptocurrencies. That's huge for it to have happened in just 1 year. So we're seeing huge tra- uh, I guess, transactions. We're seeing a shift, but it's going to take a lot of education because, as you said, right, it can be intimidating. You have sometimes bad players, you have misinformation, and that's why all of these communities coming together and educating is so, so important.
I love to hear that there's been a lot of market penetration into Latin America because again, I think it's a region of the world that really could use cryptocurrency for amazing use cases, right? And so your mission is education. Your mission is actually helping onboard these people into Web3 through a crucial pillar. So who do you think, or who will benefit the most from joining your courses and learning and taking them?
So when you look at our course, so we have one course and then we give access to other courses. But when you look at our course, it's truly basic. It's crypto, we call it 101 or crypto 1.0, because we want people to understand from the beginning, right? From the history of money and how crypto was created. But we also have a database. We've created a directory that gives you access to over 100 courses that are in English, Spanish, or Portuguese at whatever level you're looking for. And we created that database because we, again, saw that there was a lot of courses out there, but people didn't know how to find them. So part of our role, we do say we do public goods because a lot of what we do is to help the community wherever you are in your journey. Like you mentioned at the beginning, we're also starting to work with developers who are coming to us and saying, we're looking for content that's more technical in Spanish, or we want to better understand some of that terminology. So we're starting to work with a couple of developers to give that access as well. But the course itself, how we started our kind of foundation, is truly for people who know nothing and want to start understanding to either buy crypto, participate in the NFT economy, or even start to build.
I love that. We're very aligned with that mission. We want to be a bridge into Web3 by dangling careers in front of people instead of speculation. But it's a supply chain. In order for them to become professionals, they need to be educated into Web3 and then find whatever they like most about this space. And also, I find that it's a very mission-driven space in which people have very strong beliefs when they want to become a professional, and so it's important for them to kind of find their groove within it, right? And for that, they need education and they need to experiment with all the different verticals. Another question I have for you is: are you guys, which is this is a huge issue that Web2 hasn't solved, which is, once you get educated, how do I reflect those credentials? Because traditional education is kind of decaying a little bit, and what you have rising is more skill-based, education and certification. So, do you guys offer any sort of certification of your courses for your students?
We do. We actually have what we call an NTT, a non-transferable token, and it's a Latino-founded company called Learn, LIRN, that creates it for us. And so when you finish the course, you get that. But we also ensure that people are aware of platforms like yours when they're looking for jobs, right? So there's amazing communities in Latin America. Herdao Latam is one, Crypto Curiosas in Peru. You have Metagals in Mexico. A lot of these are women-focused. But then you have others like ETH Kipu, who share roles and opportunities. So we've seen great connections wherever they are, right? We have the case study of a woman who's in Mexico and who's a community manager, and she increased her compensation 3 times by finding a job with a Web3 community in the US, and she's doing all of their community building. But it really can be life changing, and we want to be a part of that.
You're completely right. There's amazing talent in Latin America. We have at Bondex some of our marketing people in Latin America. They're incredibly intelligent, diligent, smart. They've done an amazing job for us, and they can earn a really good wage for the country and bring money into the country working for Web3 companies, right? So, doing that matching of great talent in those regions with good opportunities is also essential and beneficial for both parties, right? So, anything that we can do to help in that regard, we're happy to. And I'm glad that you're offering the certification. So I guess it's like a soulbound token type of thing.
Yes, it is. It
Okay,
is.
understood.
So that people can
Yes,
can prove that they took the course, and we want to be sure that also academia starts to see the value of that, right? I mean, anybody can say that they graduated in something, but if you have this token, it really is proof that you did it.
I think companies, educational institutions, everyone needs to get on the entity and soulbound token stuff because fake accreditation and skill validation is a 90 billion a year problem. Everyone lies on their resume. That's a big problem to fix. That I'm very impressed that you guys are doing it, and I'm happy that you're doing it. And hopefully, we can put a way to integrate it into people's Bondex profiles very soon.
Absolutely, would love that.
And then the other way I have to use, okay, so people get educated, then how do you give us a few more examples? I love that one about the community builder. What are some of the ways that once people get educated on your courses, they can get jobs? And obviously, Bondex, we're about to upgrade the app. We're launching our job portal in August, September, so we'll be one of those places. But what is to date? What are some of the ways that you've helped your graduates land jobs?
Mostly what we've done is shared through some of the social platforms what we see on social media. We also know candidates, right? Because when people take our course or they build a relationship with us, so for example, I have a great project manager who recently reached out and said, I'm looking for a job. So we shared with her 5 opportunities we knew about. So it's very hands-on. So we're excited about Bondex because I think it'll be a great way to really connect people to opportunities. Right now, the way we're doing it is if we see an opportunity, we know somebody's looking for the job, we send them what we've seen. So it's very, very not very efficient, I think.
I mean, it's just manual, and that's exactly what we're trying to solve. We're trying to create a system in which works on referral. 85% of the hiring in the world happens using referrals and networking, but it can't be done at scale because professional networks and talent platforms are not catered to that. They instead focus on the middlemen that charge all those subscription fees and can charge companies for 30% for placing someone. So we want to, create a system that actually enables that peer-to-peer connection, and you're helping companies and you're helping, people as well, and overall help the whole Web3 ecosystem flourish, right? So that's very much our mission, Monica. We've been very aligned since the first time we talked.
Absolutely. We were very impressed, like you said, when we met at a Web3 Familia, which is another great community that has incredible talent of Latinos in the US and Latin America. So we connect with a lot of those communities.
And there's one question that we ask at the end of the interview to everyone is, I guess everyone calls it a crypto winter, choppy markets, traditional markets, all this mess. I like to call it a build market. What do you think some of the people should do, or what is your view on the current conditions and how people should look at it and navigate it?
I look at it like you do. It's a build market. It's a time to really upskill, to learn what are the opportunities, to connect and network, and to be on spaces like this, and to sign up to platforms like yours to start to see where the future is going. So for me, it's an opportunity to build, it's an opportunity to upskill, and it's an opportunity to really build your network, not only build platforms and build projects, but build your network. There are incredible people. And like you said, it's a very generous space. People want to help you, want to support you. And so the more you build out that network, the more you'll be able to identify those opportunities.
Absolutely. It's unlike Web3 is unlike anything I've ever seen ever
Agreed.
before. Everyone is down to help each other. Everyone wants the whole space to succeed. And that way it's way different than other industries in which there's kind of like sharky competition between each
Yeah,
other, elbowing each other. It's a different completely it's a different ethos of an industry, and that's what I wanted to succeed, and that's why Bondex is helping to do it. So Monica, I wouldn't I any live events coming up, anything that you want to advertise about Crypto Conexion that's coming up that people should look out for?
so we're actually, just like we built out the database or directory of courses, we're building out one for grants. So anybody who's building in the space that's looking for grants, we're going to have a directory of 160, actually closer to 200 grants that we've evaluated, where you can link to them and see how to apply. So we don't tell you how to apply, we give some tips, but we will have that directory available mid-June.
Amazing. So, guys, I want to thank Monica first of all for your time and for everything that you're doing. It's incredibly important to the mission of Web3, and I encourage everyone to go to Crypto Conexion and get educated. All our Latinos and Hispanic viewers here, and the ones that are going to watch after, please go to the website, check the courses out, get educated, upskill, and reskill yourself, and position yourself to a great career because we're only just getting started. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.